Hello, sir. I'm Brian Anthony Thomas, pursuing Masters in Sustainability at the University. So, sir, what are the obstacles and challenges you have faced as a Kolkata Police Commissioner?
Nothing really. Nothing really. Uh, I'm in the service since 1988, and I've been in various places from Darjeeling to Barrackpur, Murshidabad, Calcutta Police several times. Uh, I wouldn't say there are really any obstacles which I find because I find I'm very positive about various things. So even if there are some hindrances, I look at it as an opportunity to improve or to get by it. Or also, at times, there are certain things which maybe one can't, one is not in a position to do, to be successful all the time. So I take it as a part of life. I never feel that there is any obstacle as such.
So, what are the steps you are taking or your police department is taking to ensure the safety of civilians in this COVID 19 lockdown?
Police is always, as you know, police is the first responder to any crisis,
Yes.
natural calamity or whatever. So we are used to such things, but this pandemic, of course, is something very new for all of us, a different experience, where many of our men are getting affected. Many of our men are contracting the virus, and we've lost last year a lot of people, a lot of policemen, many of our colleagues, family members. This year also, we have lost about seven till date. But because of the vaccination, uh, the thing has been slightly mild this time for us. Protecting our men, our families, and then with that, keeping the morale high in spite of casualties, serving the people. So during lockdown, during various, during the ups and downs of the last 2 years of the pandemic, we have kept our men together, and every single policeman, whether it's a civic volunteer or a constable officer, so they have worked very, very hard. In spite of the space constraint in where we stay in the barracks, in the police stations, in spite of all that, sanitizing our place, we have reached out to the people. We have picked up people who are affected by disease, taken them to hospitals, provided oxygen wherever possible, removed the dead, uh, fed the local people. Uh, every day, every single unit, we've got 72 police stations in Calcutta, 25 traffic guards. Traffic guards are traffic police stations. So every single day, almost every unit does some social work in the sense either providing milk to the children in the slums, food tubes or cooked food. Uh, so that's how we've been able to helping people. And even during the lockdown, even feeding dogs, street dogs. So that's how we've been able to try.
So, could you please tell about your first big case as a police officer?
My first
First,
case,
yeah, your first case. You should remember that.
of course,
Could you tell us a bit about it?
my first case as an officer, I was a probationer in Darjeeling. And during those days in 1989, 90, inter-border international smuggling was a very big thing, Nepal and India. So I was attached to Naxalbari police station in Darjeeling, and I developed a lot of informers and sources. And we were able to seize a lot of international smuggling consignments to the tune of 5, 6 lorries. So that was a big mafia around this international smuggling during those days. Dhulabari is a place in Nepal, and Naxalbari is a place in the Indian side. So we did several such cases as a probationer. I was in service as a probationer. So that is one of the very big cases, in the first few cases.
And sir, for how many years have you been serving the public?
If you say serving the public, uh, I would say that since childhood. Otherwise, in service,
Yes.
I'm a 1988 batch officer. So, and this is my only job. This is my first and only job. So since then, 1988.
So my next question is that, sir, how are you liking it in Kolkata, or what are the things that you love the most about Kolkata?
I'm born and brought up in Calcutta. So this is my own city, and I'm very happy to be here to serve my own men. It's an opportunity. Uh, in the organization in Calcutta Police, I have served in all the ranks an IPS officer can serve. That is, the deputy commissioner, joint commissioner, additional commissioner, special commissioner, at various times. So I have served here, and then I've gone out, and then I've come back again. So those are the postings. As commissioner also, this is my second tenure as a commissioner. 5 years ago, I was commissioner. So obviously, Calcutta is very close and dear to me. I've grown up here in the streets. I've played games in almost all the grounds here, whether in school, college. Uh, it's a great opportunity for me to serve here, and therefore I certainly like. But I also like the districts. I really enjoyed staying in the districts. I served in Murshidabad, in Asansol, Darjeeling. Also served in CID. So district life is also great. And let me tell you, since 1988 and in the service, I've never regretted being in the service. I enjoyed every bit of it. And there have been ups and downs, but I would say only ups. There was no really downs as such. So really enjoyed it.
Okay, thank you, sir. So my next question is that, say, we often feel that police is equivalent to fear, and we often tend to fear the polices. So, sir, how do you manage to eradicate that fear among the commoners?
Just like talking to you now. You said that you were fearful.
Apart from us, like who don't get the opportunity to
Yeah,
like
yeah.
to search.
The thing is, it's historical. We have inherited. This is a colonial legacy. Our police system goes back to the British times, and obviously we carry that baggage with us, that legacy, that police will have to be this, this, and this. Um, since independence, we have tried to change several times. There have been a number of police commissions for reforms, for change, but none of these have really, really been implemented. We still are living in a semi-feudal setup. So that feudal setup is continuing, and our democracy is rather young. So unless democracy matures, maybe after another 50 years or so, it will be difficult to have an independent, fair police system. So it will take some time. I'm sure this will happen one day. We are still carrying on because large parts of our country are still having that feudal setup in their mind, whether it is family, society, etc. So this will continue. We are trying to come out of this. We are trying to make ourselves people friendly. We are trying to make ourselves approachable to the people. But it is slow. It takes some time.
My last question is that, sir, after this pandemic hit us and after we are locked down in our homes and are confined to stay in our rooms, so we often see that the cyber crime and cyber bully cases have increased a lot. So, sir, how do you manage to maintain that, and what's your take on that, sir?
It has increased manifold, and we are trying to educate through various messages, through social media, which we have awareness campaigns. to tell people that they should not fall prey to such sort of crime and offense.
Thank you so much, sir, for answering. It was great talking to you, sir. Thank you so much.
Hello, sir. This is Manakshi Bhatt. A very good afternoon to you. Yeah. Okay, sir. So, my very first question for you is what is your take on the women's safety in Kolkata?
Generally, Calcutta has been a city where the people give a lot of respect to women compared to other places. So that itself is an advantage for us. Uh, Calcutta has its own para culture, which maybe in new areas uh, like Newtown or Salt Lake, it's taking time to develop. But it has its own inherent para culture, whereby local people are not exactly neighbors, but more of an extended family.
Yes.
Somebody will obviously call the neighbor an uncle or an aunt or a sister or a brother, whatever. So that inherent fabric is very important. Obviously, this being a metropolitan city, there's a lot of migration, people coming in during the day, leaving by night, all sorts of people coming. So that is an area of slight concern. But I would say compared to other places, we are a much better off place because it doesn't require the police to intervene. The local people will intervene and try to protect a woman, a girl, from being harassed. Having said that, this is a place where women is absolutely free. There are places like any other place, uh, places which are uh, sparsely populated or gets lonely at night. So it is always advisable, not only for women, for anyone else, to avoid such areas. So, like large portions of the Maidan area, for example, it's very difficult at night. So visibility, for the lights, etc. So one will also try, whether it's a girl or a woman or a man or whoever, one should always be on one's own guard. You should be careful. That is important. It is not that you will keep your doors and windows open and don't expect anything to happen in your house. Although there are places in the hills. In the hills, nobody really locks their doors or windows. So that is society over there. But here, there are various levels. There is a lot of uh, differences in the various strata of society. There's a lot of need, hunger. So obviously there will be theft. So in the case of women also, one will have to be careful. We from our police, we try our best, but I wouldn't say that we will be able to protect 100%. But the confidence that we are being able to build. We are also training a lot of young girls in schools and colleges in developing their confidence by martial arts and other things, by interacting so that they know that there is a help very close by in the form of a police. That also we are also trying.
Definitely. Okay. So, my second question for you is comparing to the previous lockdown, how pressurizing is this lockdown for you all?
This lockdown, it came as a surprise. We never really thought about it. But our experience of the last lockdown had been good, and therefore we were able to plan properly. We were able to, last lockdown we really didn't know what was happening. The medical science also were in a state of, they weren't sure how to tackle. So people never really knew. Now with vaccination and also the experience of last lockdown, I think we are in a slightly better position to handle and to take care of ourselves as well as the citizens.
Okay, so as we know that the situation right now is devastating in nature, so sir, how do you manage to keep up with your mental health?
These are difficult times too, but the type of work that we do is very stressful, and obviously managing mental health is also a problem, not only for our own men, but also for our family members. They don't see their their husband or spouse for days. So, mental health for family members is also another important aspect. We try to address this by counseling. Not that we are great in this, but we are trying. As well as having checkups, talking, discussing, having people to talk to us at the lower levels, at the various police station levels, etc. That's how we try to manage. But to be fair, it's not that we have managed it very well. There are mental breakdowns, there are suicides which are happening. There are a lot of things which is there in one's own mind, which a policeman is unable to share. So those anxieties are there. We have to do much more in this field.
Okay, sir. So, how do you keep a balance between your family as well as your work life?
Uh, I tend to tell my people, my own force first. I'll talk about my family later. Uh, I try to give them as much as leave. I try to give them as much time they want to spend with their family as possible. Uh, Usually in the police, the general tendency is that you are a policeman, so you have to work 24 hours, you have to neglect your family, you can't go home, etc. I personally feel that that is not a good idea. I don't believe in this. I think that you have to spend time with your family. I encourage my men to go home and spend more time with their children and their family, because otherwise we will become machines. You will become stressful. You will misbehave with others. You will you will tend to use your power. So I don't want that. I don't want a mechanical robo type of force. Even at the cost of, although we have a vacancy of about 10,000 at the moment, even at the cost of us of sacrificing our force, some should go home, spend time with their family, and their mental health and everything should be fine. So that is my basic philosophy. As of me, my family has got used to me spending long hours at times, but otherwise, whenever I'm in the house or family, I tend to take care of them. They've got used to it. There are times when they get frustrated or sad, but they also realize, perhaps, that I'm doing something which I should be doing for the rest of the citizens. So that's the sacrifice which they do. Not only my own family, every single policeman's family is making this sacrifice.
The Facebook and the Twitter pages of the Kolkata police handles the problems of fake news very efficiently. So in that case, how do you manage to surpass the surge of this fake news?
Fake news is a challenge of modern world, and this challenge we are facing, everyone. Um, we are giving emphasis on handling this because a lot of people tend to believe whatever is coming in their WhatsApp or social media. So, in order to dispel this, we are giving a lot of importance to this. It's not that we have been able to crack everything and stop everything. It's not that. There are many things which, capability of which we do not have, but we aspire to have. We aspire to challenge or to combat fake news effectively, and it is an ongoing process, and we will improve the scam. Those who are into fake news and scams, they will better themselves. So this will continue. But our emphasis certainly on this area also, priority area. This is a priority area for us. So we hope we will be able to do better in this in future.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir. Thanks a lot.
My pleasure.